Welcome to the Average Nobodies podcast, the ultimate home for wrestling enthusiasts, beer drinkers, movie quoters, and pop culture connoisseurs. Here are your hosts, Matt and Ryan.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Average Nobodies podcast. My name is Ryan Fogarty.
My name is Matt Vieira.
And we are here again for a podcast, weekly, in fact.
Yeah, we're back. We're back at it. Back in this beautiful table. I really can't get over the table.
And now, finally, we're playing video for this one, so you can actually see the table. It is a beautiful table. I come down, sometimes I just sit in front of it and just look at it.
Oh.
Yeah, in the dark. So I can't actually see it, but I can, I feel it, and I can,
Yeah, you can sense it. Well, you made it. It's like giving birth.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm at work, and, I can feel it. It's scared.
Schwartz is scratching you in a bed.
I feel your pain. All right, so let's get right into it. So last week we did a little segment at the beginning where we just talked about our everyday interactions in the world. So I think we should start calling it people watching.
I love it.
Where it's not like we're not doing the traditional people watch where you sit down and you watch people, but this is just our everyday interaction with
right. We're not going into people's homes and watching them. And
so I'm a landlord for another property, and I went in there to fix something, a broken sink, and I'm under the sink. This is yesterday afternoon. I'm under the sink, tearing apart the old sink and putting the new faucet and everything. And the guy who's the father lives there. He comes up to me in the kitchen and he's like, "Oh, I got to run out." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's fine." And he's like, "Watch my kids." And then he didn't really ask me. He told me.
Right.
He's like, "Watch my kids." And then he just
oh god.
Okay, so the kids,
while you're trying to fix the sink.
Yeah. So number one, not my job.
No.
Number two, the kids are old enough where they don't need a babysitter, so it was just weird. So he speaks primarily Spanish, so I don't know if there was something lost in translation where my kids will watch you or whatever. Either way,
it's odd.
It's not good. Nah. It's not great. So that was my little story from yesterday. It was a bit odd. So I was a babysitter and I was a plumber and a babysitter. So you
should. I mean, if that's on your resume, correct?
Well, I actually
as a plumber and a babysitter.
I just started a store. It's gonna be plumbing and babysitting duties. Okay. So yeah, I haven't gotten any jobs.
No,
yet.
Usually those don't overlap.
No,
but you never know.
Never ever.
They never do.
No.
My interaction, it's been a relatively normal week, which is surprising. I mean, my job, I during the week I work customer service for a escorted tour company, which means I talk to people from all over the world, mostly older people, who are just cranky. So I could tell stories all day in that, and maybe one day on the podcast I'll drum up some of my classic stories of people. But tonight at softball, we were playing this team, and it's a co-ed league. It's we're in the lowest division. It's a ton of fun. We just play, have a couple beers. I didn't have any beers tonight, but usually once the weather gets warmer, you'll stay after, have some beers. And we played this one woman. She was a woman. She's probably in her 30s or 40s. She just didn't look coordinated. You could tell something was going on. She was nothing was wrong with her, but I'm I don't know if you should be playing. So anyway, she had a pretty good swing. So the first time she comes up, she hits the ball past our shortstop into the outfield. So she's running. She's a little heavy. So she's running, and it's it looked weird, her running. It didn't look like it was something she was just you know what I mean? Yeah. She shouldn't have been doing it. Yeah. She runs, and all of a sudden she just trips and falls face first with her arms by her side.
So she didn't have it in the breaker fall. She just fell.
I mean, she had her hands in her arms. She kept them by her side. Trips over the bag, boom, and all of a sudden the neck lifts up and her nose is gushing blood.
Oh no!
Gushing. Her face is full of dirt. Nose is gushing blood, and it's I mean, on a routine play, it's not like somebody bumped into her.
Yeah. Oh man.
So she was out. They took her away. They whisked her away. I didn't see her again.
Like an ambulance coming?
No.
Oh man. She definitely broke her nose.
She definitely broke her nose because it was you could tell it was busted and it was bleeding. Oh, but I wonder where she went. This team if you get hurt on this team, they just take you out to the field.
Just want to play some softball after work, and all of a sudden your nose broken, and that's it. You're dead. They drag you into the woods and they put you down.
No, I'm okay. I can continue. But yeah, so that was funny, and it just happened on the way here. So I'm glad it was good timing, not for her, but for me. So.
Well, that's wonderful. So people watching. That's this week's people watching.
I like it.
I'm a babysitter now, and Ryan's watching people get snuffed out at softball games. So, fun stuff. Speaking of not fun stuff, so this was really sad. This kind of got me. The other night, Big Black, Christopher Boykin, passed away of Robin Big fame. It was really sad because that was a show I actually like really loved to watch.
It was not original because it was a reality show.
Yeah.
But he had such a cool life. Like he was the epitome of I think what you or I would want to be as a celebrity.
Oh, totally.
Like we're not going out for fancy dinners. We're not like we're building ball pits and buying warehouses and just driving around in go-karts.
Yeah, exactly.
And the guy couldn't. I mean, he was the epitome of this like big burly man with a heart of gold.
Yeah, he couldn't. That show couldn't have been better. It was just the way that those two guys, and then the cast of characters they had around them, between like the animals and Drama, and Rob's cousin Drama, and Bam Bam, and like all. It was just super. It was super sad to hear that he had passed away. That was like Rob Big. This is what Rob Dyrdek though has done his entire career. He's always taken things that are already like things, like for instance, reality show, and he takes it and just makes it awesome. Like he just takes it like whether or not episodes were like scenes were scripted, like made for the TV show, it all seems so authentic. And the most authentic thing out of everything with it was their friendship.
Yeah,
was Rob and his and Ben and Chris Big Black's friendship. So. It was truly sad. I know that there was like they had some falling out towards the end of Rob Big, and it was like a stupid like money thing. Sometimes
happens.
that stuff you can't help when you get involved with working with your friend like that in that kind of environment. But I know that he was on Fantasy Factory afterwards. So
I think because he went on Rob Dyrdek went on like a Twitter, like a spree, not a spree, but it just did a ton of like tweets like remembering him and how much they liked it. It was just that young in his 44, 45. Yeah. And I guess he needed like a heart transplant, or it was similar, close to that. He just had a bad heart. It's like
too bad. He has a young kid, a few years old.
Yeah.
I mean, just a handful, right? I mean, he had the kid towards the end of Robin Big, and that was only like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. So,
but I mean, he's in his mid 40s. Like that's not, that's just how it is. It was just really sad.
Tragedy.
I mean, especially something from your childhood or you growing up.
Yeah.
Just to see somebody like that who literally was just such a big personality, but just someone I could have watched him all day. I could have watched him and Rob all day.
There's so many little. Robin Big was a show that you capture so many little. You don't realize how much of your speak or like quotes you say come from Robin Big.
Yeah.
Like it's like I just like do work.
Yep, do work, son.
Yeah, I mean there's just like there's fun stuff like that, and I'm getting the pony and whatever. But like.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any like favorite like pinpoint moments from like Robin Big that you remember?
I mean, the one that stands out, I don't know how it couldn't stand out, is the one where there's one episode I know where he's like wearing just like a thong.
That's the one he goes to the strip. When he goes back to be the stripper.
Yeah. I mean, it's like it's ingrained in my mind, like
it's
burned. Yeah, burned into my brain. But like just to watch someone like that, just be like, I mean, he walks into a room and it just like into a scene and it's just
he commands the room.
He does. Yeah.
They were so funny. Like I think some of the best parts of their show were the cold opens.
Yep.
Like there's one that Drama actually posted on Twitter the other day where they're going through a car wash and they're singing. I forget what song they're singing, but they're just like singing, and it's you could tell that wasn't supposed to be like filmed. Like the cameras are on. They were going through a car wash and like this thing came on. That was what I loved about that show. So authentic. Whether or not some of the things were scripted for the show, I think it's different than like what some reality shows are scripted and like what this was scripted for. Like I think like the scripted for Robin Big was like Rob went to the producers and was like, hey, listen, great content for the show. I'm going to buy a mini horse. Yeah. But everything that comes along with that is authentic.
Yeah,
like
the reactions or conversations. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine it was like heavily dialogue written.
No. I think my favorite episode was the episode where they got the net gun.
Yeah.
And Rob was just like shooting everybody with the net gun, like getting drama. And then I don't know if this is the same episode, but the one where they're like testing out the couch's like endurance, and Big like goes over the railing on the second floor of the house and jumps down and just completely like breaks the couch. It's so funny because he's a huge guy, and he climbs over the railing of the kitchen of the old house, and then he drops down into the living room because it was like the second floor, but you could drop down into the living room on the first floor, and he just like falls on the couch and like the legs like break off of it, and it just like that was it for the couch. It's so funny how he fell too, because he's such a big guy, like he doesn't have any control over how he's falling. He's just falling. So
gravity takes over.
It's too bad. I know Rob's probably devastated. Obviously, like you saw on like on Twitter and stuff, and like all the guys at the Fantasy Factory, and so it's too bad. I found out when I was down in, I'll talk about this later. I was down in Newport seeing a movie. And Adam texted me, And I was like, that's crazy. The first thing that I thought of was like, oh, you know what? I got to wear my big black shirt to work tomorrow. And I don't have it. I don't know where it went.
Really?
I had the shirt that was the mural that was on the side of the van. That
Yeah,
had.
I've seen you with a shirt. Yeah.
I don't know what happened to it. I don't know. I think I got. You know what? It might be in my like workout stuff because I think I might have cut the sleeves off of it. So that maybe I shouldn't have wore it to work. But anyway, I think I still have it somewhere.
Understands.
I know I have a big black hat somewhere too. I was a big fan. So it's unfortunate.
It is. But R.I.P. to Christopher Boykin.
Yeah. Rest easy, big guy.
Yes, absolutely. And now, do you want to?
Yeah. How do you want to do this?
I mean, I think we could do. I would save the American Gods news for when you talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we can just do Better Call Saul.
Yeah. So we want to start a new segment on our podcast. So on the Make Movies Great Again podcast, we do a movie club, which is like book club, but you don't have to read. It's great.
It's wonderful.
Here on the Average Nobodies podcast, we're kind of more geared towards TV. I think we talk more TV shows than anything.
Yeah, we do.
So we're going to do TV club here. So TV club is just how it sounds, like a book club. You don't have to read again, but it's TV shows. So for this week, we didn't really prep anybody for last week, but we're all caught up on Better Call Saul.
Yes.
So we're going to chat a little about Better Call Saul, and then we'll talk about what we want to watch for next week.
Yeah.
Which we kind of just alluded to. But
Perfect.
So you're all caught up.
I'm all caught up.
So how awesome is first of all, I mean, now Gus is back. Just so you guys know, there's going to be spoilers.
Yes.
So just
You're not caught up from Monday night's episodes.
Gus, Mike, and just how good is Jimmy McGill?
Yeah, it's one of those shows that I was thinking about it. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Silicon Valley in a way because they always. But the only thing with Saul is like they drop clues, so you kind of think you know what's going to happen, and then they just do something way smarter and cooler.
Yeah.
Whereas Silicon Valley, they build it up, and then.
And then they flip it on you. Yeah.
But I love Saul because they kind of let you play along. They're like, yeah, you're in on it. Like, this is what's going to happen. And then it's like, well, actually, we're going to do this. I like that they're kind of digging into Gus's backstory. I know we know a little bit of it. Now, I was trying to remember. His brother.
I don't know if it was his brother.
Or his partner.
It was his partner, yeah.
Was killed by Salamanca, right?
Yeah. Well, he was killed
Salamanca
by...
or that... Chapo,
the head guy, yeah.
In the pool, right?
Yeah, in the pool. Yeah, he was killed.
The guy who was swimming at the beginning of a couple episodes ago?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that guy. The guy who takes the tequila shot and then they all die in Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Him. Yeah, he dies. And then so Gus starts the chicken company anyway because he had the good idea for like the distribution and all that stuff. So.
Because like I'm thinking about it, like this guy is so controlled and measured and he had that great speech to his employees after Salamanca goes to visit him. But his whole life's work is just built on revenge.
Yeah, it really is.
And anger.
Everything up until...
But he never shows it.
Up until the moment he dies in Breaking Bad, it's all about revenge.
Yeah.
He hates Hector Salamanca. Hates him. And now you start to see like what the beginning of that is.
Yeah.
Him taking his distribution and adding his stuff to it, and I'm sure something's going to go bad with that.
Yeah.
But back to what you were saying about how it's like similar to Silicon Valley. I was thinking the exact same thing. I don't know if it's because it's an hour-long episode and Silicon Valley is only a half hour, but for Better Call Saul, you get more of a payout for longer. You know the other shoe's going to drop, but you get the payout for longer. So, like, Saul's on top, but you know it's going to come to an end. But when he's on top, he's on top.
Yeah.
Like, he's the best. He's awesome, and you know the whole time they're in that courtroom at the end, you know that at first I thought there was going to be a cell phone in his pocket.
I did too.
But then I was like, how is he not going to feel a cell phone in his pocket? And then with the battery,
that's
that
the
made
thing.
sense.
So like they lead you on, they kind of clue you in on it, but they don't give you that last clue. So then you're like, oh, it's a cell phone. Oh yeah, but maybe it couldn't be a cell phone. And then like, of course, it's perfect. Yeah. And I like everything they do makes sense.
Yeah.
And they cover their tracks perfectly. And hey, Huel coming back to us.
Yeah, did he lose weight?
Yes.
He looked like he lost a I was like, is that a Huel lookalike? It can't be because he has like the pointed head. Like, it has to be Huel.
He's a very distinct looking human.
He is
but it works because it's supposed to be a flashback. So maybe in Breaking Bad universe, he just gained a ton of weight. But
I guess
that was really they just did it. I'm surprised that Kim is playing along with this as much as she is. But it works for her too because she hates Hamlin McGill.
Yeah.
So she'll be a little dirty with Jimmy if she has to.
She's just as dirty as Jimmy is.
Yeah.
She can get down just as much as Jimmy can. And she's just as smart, if not smarter. You know what I mean? Like she knows like Jimmy, she knows like the shortcuts and the loopholes, but she knows when to ride the line on the law and because Jimmy kind of like automatically defaults to breaking the law.
Right.
Like, he covers it up very well, but he automatically defaults to that. I think she's the opposite, but she still finds the same solution.
Because she won't take the
To a problem.
She won't take the shortcut.
No.
Like Jimmy will.
Exactly. Jimmy, yeah, slipping Jimmy. He'll take the shortcut. And, like, a lot of this now brings up the question, like, how far before Breaking Bad is this? Do they say? Because I'm very confused on Hector Salamanca's health condition. Does he, like, take a stroke halfway through Better Call Saul, or is he just gets old? Like, is it a very long way in the future?
I don't know. Because he looks old now.
Yeah.
But he must, because the thing is, like, I think when we met Saul, he was Saul for a while.
Yes.
In Breaking Bad. So even, like, when he turns into Saul in the show, I think there's still a while to go to get
Before he turns to Saul. Sure.
Yeah, but even when he turns to Saul, like, we met Saul middle end. So you know what I mean? So just because he, turns into Saul doesn't mean it's Breaking Bad universe. You still have a way to go to get.
Sure.
So it's been a while. I think it's been a while, but I don't know if Hector Salamanca was, like, in that wheelchair for, they just let him shrivel away.
I don't know. I mean, you don't know if there's, like, a catalyst to, like, why he gets put in the wheelchair. So
yeah, I wonder if he gets maybe poisoned or something.
Maybe.
Maybe not poisoned. Yeah, I'm sure Gus has something to do with it.
Yeah, I'm sure too. But going back to Hamlin, I kind of now, like, after Hamlin got put in the I guess I'm not a lawyer, but I guess it's like the witness seat,
witness stand. Yeah,
the witness stand. After Jimmy, like, questioned him about, like, him not getting hired at Hamlin, working his way up from the thing, I kind of feel bad for him. You know what I mean? Like, because really, Chuck's the asshole.
Yeah.
Chuck's the asshole, didn't want to hire Jimmy, and I think Jimmy he knows that, obviously, like he said it. But, like, I feel bad for Hamlin because he's in a tough spot because Chuck is obviously, like, part of the firm. His
one of his
name's on the title.
Yeah.
And, like, he must be making it so difficult for Hamlin, like, to run that company with him being so weird and, like, having that issue with the, like, whatever it is. Like, he's just crazy.
Yeah.
So it's tough, and, like, you feel bad for Jimmy as well, but also, like, it's not all Hamlin's fault. No. He is a dick sometimes. Like, he was a dick to Kim a bunch of times.
Well,
but,
like, he's a hotshot lawyer. I mean, that's what they are. He's not necessarily malicious.
Yeah, Chuck is just hates Jimmy. Like, hates that Jimmy can make something of his life and whatever.
Yeah, he's fine with Jimmy in the mailroom, but he's not fine with Jimmy as an attorney.
The lawyer, yeah. He just wants... I mean, he even said it. Like, he doesn't care about what's right and wrong. He wants Jimmy off the bar. Like, he doesn't want him to be barred.
Right.
So
he doesn't really care about the law, even though he's having these, he's on his pedestal about the law. He doesn't care about the law.
No, he doesn't. He just wants Jimmy not to be barred. Yeah, he just wants him to be barred. What do you think about the flashbacks? The beginning, the Cinnabon flashbacks. Well, I guess they're
those
flash
are flash
forwards. I guess, yeah.
Because that's in Breaking Bad. That's like
he ends up in because he leaves because he always said he's like go get a job at Cinnabon. Yeah.
There's so many cool little things with that. I mean, there's just so many characters that how they end, and Saul's really the only... Saul, you don't know what happens to him.
But I feel like something's going to happen, like, after these flash forwards. I feel like there's going to be... Once the show ends, and I never want it to end.
Right.
I feel like once the show ends, it's going to take us to Cinnabon era, probably in color. Was it in color when he yelled out to the kid to get a lawyer, or was it still in black and white?
It was weird. It was... I don't know if it was black and white or if it was, like... Just like tinted.
Tinted. Yeah. So, but like maybe something happens after that. Like maybe he like
because now they're getting more like before it was just like a silent.
Yeah.
Almost like a silent film when they flash forward. But now he's getting into it. So maybe he like gets back into being. It could be like, have you ever watched The Shield?
No.
It was an FX show. It was one of my favorite shows of all time. And
Michael Chiklis is in it, right?
Yeah. So he plays Vic Mackey, this just like hard ass detective, and it was just this amazing show, and. He but he was a dirty cop. So he got demoted to a desk job, and in like the last, this is going to be a spoiler if people haven't seen The Shield, but it's like a 15-year-old show. But he gets demoted to like a desk job. So it's like 8 at night, and he's sitting there at the desk, and he hears the police sirens going off. And he's just sitting there, and you can tell he's getting like more progressively madder and madder and madder. Yeah. And finally he just like opens up the desk drawer, takes his shield and his gun, closes it, and goes, and like that's how the show ends. And it's just like a tiger is not going to change his stripes. Yeah. So I could see Better Call Saul ending the same way, where he's like, he'll never practice law again. He's going to be a Cinnabon worker, but that's who he is.
So how do you think it happens? Do you think he takes his new identity and goes back to law school?
Maybe. I can't picture it ending any other way. But with him, I don't think he cares if he gets arrested doing it. I think he's someone who would rather be arrested and put in jail for doing what he wants to do instead of like hiding away as this as a nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, that he just strikes me as that type of personality.
I agree with you.
So I wouldn't be surprised at that. There's one little detail I wanted to mention it was the second to last show, the one where Mike went to help fix Chuck's door.
Yes.
And it's these little details they put in, which they really don't have to, because if you look at Mike, I would say he could probably fix a door, right?
Yeah.
So he does what he does, takes all the pictures for Jimmy, which I didn't think was going to be what it was for. I thought he was going to use it as like Chuck's a lunatic, all the pictures.
Well, he kind of did, right?
No, didn't he use it for?
He used them. He showed them in the courtroom.
Yeah, but didn't he use it for? Didn't they use the pictures for something else? Like in the.
I think he was trying to show that it wasn't a normal home, or did he like?
I thought he.
He used them in the courtroom.
He did use them in the courtroom, but
I forget what point he was trying to make.
Yeah, well, maybe it was in my own head. I thought it was going to be something else, but it was. But so then it's Jimmy and Mike in the diner, and Jimmy's like, "You did a good job, right?" Like Mike's like, "Yeah, nobody's going to say anything. Nobody's going to ask any questions." They could have just left it at that. The next scene when he's in the parking lot booth, he's reading Handyman magazine.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't even notice that.
And like that ties it together. Like, okay, this is why Mike can fix the door.
Yeah.
Because that's what
he's
he's always reading.
He's a pro.
Yeah. So like when Jimmy asked him to fix the door or whatever, and it's like I love those little details that they reward you for paying attention.
Yeah, that's great. I did not pay attention to that, but that's
I saw
awesome.
it online.
That's great.
And I also love that they have at least the Breaking Bad used to do this too. The title of the episode is kind of important to the actual episode.
Yeah.
Like it's usually used in the dialogue. Like this most recent one was chickenery or whatever, and Chuck says it like during one of his speeches on the witness stand.
Yes.
And it brings me back to like a New Girl. Do you remember the New Girl episode when Cece and the Indian guy are gonna get married?
Yes.
And Taylor Swift.
Yes. Yeah.
The name of the episode is Emily.
Oh, really?
And that's Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
So like the whole episode, it's like,
and
then he's like, "I love you, Emily," and it's Taylor Swift. I'm like, that's such a genius idea. So I just like when they use it because the episode before was like Saporicito or whatever, and that was the little bobblehead that Hector Salamanca got the big Don drug dealer.
Oh yeah.
So and like the guy hated, and you could tell Hector was, now that hatred from the Don forced Hector to go visit Gus.
I love how when Gus's money comes in, it's like all neatly packed, like so Gus Fring.
Yeah.
Like, and he's like, "This is how I want it done from now on." So you could tell that Hector's just fucking
ate him up
pissed.
inside. Yeah.
Fucking so heated about that. Oh man, that must have killed. And that's like he showed up at Los Polos Hermanos.
Yep.
And just
Lit
like
a cigar.
really intimidated. Yeah, just really intimidated the shit out of the manager there. That was a cringeworthy scene.
It
like,
was.
Just,
It
like,
was very
you felt
awkward.
Very
it's like,
uncomfortable.
you know what, buddy? Hey, drop the assistant manager shtick. It's not gonna get through this guy.
Please, just let him be. It's been so good though. I feel like I'm watching Breaking Bad again.
Yeah.
Not because I want the same, like, not because of the characters or anything, but it's that same caliber show.
It is.
It's that same like level of attention to detail. The cinematography, the colors, the way the dialogue, everything. It's such a good show.
That shot I sent you, the Snapchat of Kim and Jimmy walking out, like
oh
with
God.
the doors opening. I mean, come on.
And it's just drenched in like symbolism and everything has double meaning. Everything.
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 And I can't imagine how long it takes them to set up those shots. Like that's not just like, oh look, this is here.
Yeah.
Like everything is framed perfectly.
He has a very Vince Gilligan. I'm sure he has a cinematographer that makes a lot of, like, helps him with a lot of decisions. But he's almost like Wes Anderson a lot of the times when he shoots Breaking Bad. He likes a lot of long shots, and he likes the actors like to make the scene rather than the camera to move, and everything's symmetrical.
Yeah.
He does a lot.
Oh,
I mean, Wes Anderson does it to the extreme, but he does this a lot. He does it a lot. Yeah.
There was a shot of it was like a couple episodes ago. It was when Mike's trying to throw the shoes on the wire.
Yes.
And it's like it's a low shot in the sky. It's like it's not like a perfect sky. There's some clouds there, but just the visual of him with the wire, with the sky, it was such a beautiful. Like I could have watched that just Mike throwing the shoes on the wire all day. It was such a beautiful shot.
He's also masterful at taking you through a maze. Like how you were saying, like, you're not sure what's going to happen. Like he dropping little clues, but like when Mike like gets the drugs, puts him in the shoe, puts him on the throws him over the. You have no idea what he's going to do with that, but you're like discovering as you go, and you're like, oh, oh, and then finally when he gets set up and he shoots the boot and the drugs rain down on the box truck, you're like, all right.
And like, how many other shows would have taken the extra step to have Mike shoot it in the air? So when they hear that last gunshot,
to get out of there. Yeah, they just think it's like,
it's just a hunter. Because if he doesn't shoot anything and then and they drive by and they hear a gunshot and it hits the shoe, they're gonna be like, what the hell was that?
Yep.
But it's so smart.
Everything. It's just.
And I didn't see that. Like, that's another added thing that I wouldn't have thought of. But it just makes so much sense that, like, you have to do that so when they hear the gunshot, oh, it's nothing. We'll just keep driving.
I love like how I said before, too, what a professional Mike is.
Yeah.
And how he interacts with Gus. Him and Gus are very, like, they're a lot of the same person.
Yeah.
Gus gets why Mike had to act the way he was going to act against Tuco. Not Tuco. Oh, yeah, Tuco, right?
Yeah.
Against Tuco. And he's like, it's not time for Tuco to die, but if you hit another one of his trucks, you know what I mean? I'm not going to say no.
Yeah.
He's like, but he gets it. And then when that guy, what's his name, his assistant, he ends up slitting his throat in Breaking Bad. It's like, whatever. And he goes over to pay him, and he's like, no, tell him we're square. And I'm sure, like, that goes a long way with Gus, and it makes a lot of sense why Mike was so instrumental to Gus in Breaking Bad.
Yeah, because it's the beginning of their relationship now, but that, I mean, who can you trust more than him?
Yeah.
Especially, like, not only personally, but to do the job the right way.
Yeah.
He's
a pro. He's an absolute pro. I love Mike so much.
His storylines are so good.
He's such a good character still. Really, and it just gets better every time.
Yeah.
It's so fun. I still love my favorite thing from Breaking Bad, right? When he gets hired and he brings the sandwich and everybody else, the other guy brings a gun.
Yeah.
And he's like, you didn't bring a piece? And he's like, and he ends up being the guy who shows up, whatever.
I think that was Better Call Saul.
Pimento. Was it Saul? It was like earlier on in Saul.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, I love that scene when he has the pimento cheese sandwich.
Yeah. And it's just like those little, oh man, it's amazing. It's so good. That guy was actually played a funny character too. He was on The Office. He was. Well,
he was the guy who was gonna break. He was Dwight's friend. Yeah. The guy who was gonna break. Oscar's kneecaps, right? And he was like, do you have a gun? And he shows him the receipt for the gun. Yeah, I have a gun. What's that? Is that a receipt? Yeah, I'm not going to just bring a gun. I'm just going to bring my gun.
Oh, God.
But yeah, Better Call Saul. If you guys aren't watching Better Call Saul, you better watch it. So we'll probably talk as the season goes on. Yeah. We'll talk about more Better Call Saul. But for next week, we want to focus on a different show.
Yes.
American Gods. So if you haven't caught up with American Gods, it shows Monday nights on Starz. You don't have to have the Starz channel to watch it. You can watch it on the Starz. It's like a Netflix Starz. Like everything has a subscription now.
Right.
Starz is no different. I think you can sign up for like a few days free, and you can binge them all if you want. There's only 2 episodes. There's going to be by the time you. No, it's only 2 episodes. The third one's coming out on the 15th, May 15th. It's Monday nights at 8:30 or something like that. But I watched the first 2, and I know you're gonna watch the first 2.
I'm gonna watch them this weekend.
It's nothing like anything that's on TV. I'll just tell you that. And I know we talked a little bit before.
And I mean, I don't have anything to add to the actual show because I haven't seen it. But to get picked up for season 2 after 2 episodes,
I think they did marketing very well. They made it very ambiguous where you didn't know what was going on, but you knew you wanted to watch it, and they also put it in front of your eyes enough times that you like had to watch it. Did I talk on this podcast last time about it? How like the rule of 7? And,
yes.
Yeah, they did that. I mean, they put it in your eyes so many times. You're like, well, I have to watch this, and then you watch it, and there's a lot of chatter on social media. I think that's what does it now. I think it's less about views and more about how many people and how they're talking about it.
And I was gonna say, it seems like the type of show that you can write a million think pieces on.
A lot.
So you can not only write about what the show is about, but what are the double meanings? What's going to happen next? Like that's why. I mean, I think it's a perfect show for this era of TV watching.
I'm curious to see Shadow Moon, main character played by Ricky Whittle, who they're saying he's going to be like the next like breakout leading role star, which I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
He has a lot of dream sequences in the first 2 episodes. I'm curious to see what you think about them.
Okay.
I mean, because you can, like you said, you can extrapolate them a million different ways. They're wild. They're crazy stuff going on. It's crazy stuff going on. But anyway, American Gods for next week. So we're probably going to shoot either Wednesday or Thursday next week. We'll record the podcast.
Yeah, Wednesday is going to be tough because I'm actually watching Chase.
Are you?
When Adam goes away. So it starts Wednesday night, so he's dropping him off. So I might have to do Thursday if that's all right.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. We can do that. Or we can go record up at your house too. I can bring a little portable setup and we can just shoot on the front porch or something.
That'd be sweet.
So yeah, I think that's it. Do you have anything else you want to add?
I don't think so. I mean, I think I like the TV Club edition. I mean,
I think
people watching is going to be
because we're going to talk about TV shows anyway. We might as
Right.
well. This actually might give us a chance to watch some new stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So watch some new stuff and like maybe like stuff that I'm watching that you haven't caught up on yet, and vice versa. We can kind of get each other on the same page, which is great because I do. That's what helps me with movies, with the movie club on the other podcast. So with TV club now, it's just gonna be.
And I think it's a good way to get people interacting on social media. I mean, if you're caught up on Better Call Saul, if you want to watch it, if you have questions, comments, want to talk about it, you can get us, on Twitter at Average Nobodies. Comment on the video.
Yes.
On YouTube.com/TheAverageNobodies. We're on Facebook, Facebook.com/TheAverageNobodies, and we have the blog too. But yeah,
if you want to call us, 401-285-8120. If you want to call and leave us something about Better Call Saul or something about American Gods for next week, and we'll play it on the show, and we'll talk about what you have to talk about.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that's it. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Again, you can download this on iTunes if you're not already, on Stitcher Radio, on YouTube, or it's going to be on our Facebook page, so you can find it a million ways. So until next week, everybody stay safe out there and spay and neuter your animals.
Yes. Whichever the bobcats, they're bigger than humans now.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're a lot in your area, huh?
Yeah. Yep. They're on 2 legs.
Oh, what?
I saw one running, just jogging.
Oh, God.
Casually.
It's like the missing link. All right. See you later, everybody.
Bye, everyone.